What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Mark here with the Bettor Mark, and let's get into this exciting Friday night card where we look into the college basketball second day of the Sweet 16 coming at you hot. These are four games that I've basically wanted to watch since the schedule and the brackets have been played out. Yesterday's great matchup within North Carolina, Alabama, that surely delivered, okay? But within this game, these games tonight, these four games, I have three official plays. I'm going to give you guys my lean on all sides of these four contests and recap yesterday's plays. But before we get down into it, make sure you all are subscribed down below. Smash that like button. Please, if you have not done so, that is something where we can trick YouTube and letting everyone know out here, which channel is the best. Jokes aside, but let's get down into it. I want to talk to you a little bit about yesterday. Not going to spend too much time in the past, but was able to go 3-1 on the picks. Okay, and that's where I thought we were going to get the brooms out. I would have been able to cash a pretty big, decent-sized parlay if Illinois would have covered that over within yesterday's contest, but failing short. I think it finished at 141. Needed overtime. I thought that was a possibility, but we got it done in other regards. So yesterday had the UConn minus 10.5, as well as the Alabama +5, and a little sprinkle half unit on the money line, which was able to come home. And I went up about 20 spots in my bracket. I think I'm the only one with Alabama in the Final Four in a 30-man bracket. It's a little more higher stakes. It's only one entry, so something more of my liking, and then obviously losing that Illinois bet. So that's one where we're going to look at 3-1. I'll take it. We're moving on. We're getting into the second day of the Sweet 16, and this is one where I think the dogs are live again. So full disclosure, though, I will be taking UConn anytime that number's around 10 until they lose, okay, until they lose against the spread. Last 8 games, I think 9 games now, that average margin of victory just went up. So in the last 9 tournament games, UConn is boasting a 22-plus point winning differential. Okay, that's crazy. That's just some simple, crazy stuff. Gonzaga is another trend, third on the list with active consecutive Sweet 16 appearances. Just crazy, crazy run for the Zags. But let's get down into it. Let's break up that first game. But first, before we get into it, make sure you guys all check out our sponsor for the channel, OddsJam. It's truly an invaluable tool within your sports betting arsenal. Link down below. You'll get 35% off your first month, as well as 35% off an annual plan if you elect to do so. So check out OddsJam, links down below. Find out exactly what that's all about. It gets you the best odds possible with some fantasy perspective, as well as a lot of bet tracking and daily EV. Okay, so I use it also for arbitrage opportunities. I think that's one of the best features of it, but just a great data tool within the sports betting industry. So back into the picks. Let's get into that first game where we go into Marquette, North Carolina State. A lot of people are on the Wolfpack, okay, and I'm not against it. I just don't want anything to do with this game. So I'm going to enjoy watching it. I'm not going to play this game. This is one where Marquette could win by 20, and I also would not be surprised if North Carolina State won within the money line. This is one where North Carolina State, I think we're underestimating the prowess of the ACC a little bit. I think the ACC might have been a better conference than people have expected, and how that regular season data points all translate into the postseason. Just a little, a theory as we get further into the tournament. But no play for me in this game. Like I told you, I probably would lean towards taking NC State plus 6.5. I think there's a lot of value in taking the money line possibly. But Marquette, from all accounts, have been clicking. Taking down Colorado, Western Kentucky with ease. And, they have that pedigree where they play UConn. They played them 3 times, okay? So this is no exception, but I do not want to get on this. I think North Carolina State, they had some time to recover. They had a big stretch where they played a lot of games in a row, but just one where this would be NC State plus the points or pass for me, and this is one where I'm not going to be playing this as an official play. Okay, next, let's get into the big one, okay? This is Duke-Houston, okay? This is one where I think the winner of this game will make the Final Four. And unfortunately, it's one where the Blue Devils have a lot of chalk, right? They get that public New York Yankee money every March Madness. I can't really understand that phenomenon, but here we are once again. And if Filipkowski, if he comes into the arena and he steps it up and delivers to the potential that he was as a recruit, as a prospect. This is one where Houston might have their hands full, okay? I see some value taking Duke +4, so we're going to lock that in as my first official play, Duke +4.5. You actually can find that out on FanDuel right now, so I'm going to jump all over that. Despite me having Houston in my bracket making the championship, this is a little bit of a hedge potential too, where Houston could still win the game and win by 1, 2, or 3, or 4. So I'm going to lock in Duke +4.5. I do think there's a high possibility that they win this game outright because Houston, they play at a different style of basketball. But if Duke was to get out to a hot start, they're making threes like they did in the last game at that percentage. I don't see Houston having a chance in this game if Duke can shoot the basketball the way that they did in their previous contest. So Duke, kind of the surprising outlier for me. Every March, I usually fade Duke from a bracket perspective, but for a tournament perspective, this is one where they're on a hot streak. They're on a mission, and I think it's something where this is something as we get into this Sweet 16. James Madison last round, I think, was a live dog, and, Duke went 14 for 28. So I do foresee some regression within that handicap, but, winning 93-55 against a formidable opponent, that translates, right? That translates. They're not going to go 50%, but they are going to play that style of basketball that hopefully can take down Kelvin Sampson's club, and we can cash this +4.5 with ease. Okay, so that'll be my first official play. Next, we're going to go to probably the highlighted game on the card. This is Gonzaga Purdue, right? And this is 7:39. This is one where we look at the Boilermakers and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Like I said, Gonzaga continuing their Sweet 16 record, consecutive streak. And the line's moving away from the Zags, okay? So through the first couple games and rounds of the tournament, Gonzaga has been the best team outside of Connecticut in the tournament. They've been the most efficient on both sides of the ball. This is one where a lot of people are going to be back in Purdue, okay? There is a lot of people on Purdue, but I have to say I can't get down with it. Until Purdue wins a national championship, I cannot erase that 16 seed loss from my subconscious. And gun to my head, Zach Edey, I think he's soft. I truly do. He has a height advantage. I know that. I respect that. But Gonzaga, they got some dogs. I mean, they have some dogs. We saw them battle last round, what they were able to do with Kansas. Kansas is a very physical basketball team. And quite frankly, I think Kansas, from a physicality standpoint, would make Purdue, have a little issue. Okay, but that's just kind of on the physicality side of it. Gonzaga's still going to have to make shots. They've been the most efficient. I think them in Connecticut, offensive efficiency in the tournament. Purdue as well has been playing very, very well, but I do see some weaknesses within the Boilermakers, and if they can't make shots, they can't shoot, and Gonzaga can cover down on Edey, this is one where Gonzaga is another live dog. So let's lock it in right now. This is one where, despite seeing the line movement, there's a lot of people flowing in on Purdue. We're going to be taking Gonzaga +5.5 as our second official play, and let's get it, okay? And then the last game, probably my most excited for game, and I don't really want to rank them because, honestly, those last three games we just routed off are absolutely phenomenal matchups, but Creighton playing Tennessee. Okay, Tennessee, full disclosure, is another Final Four pick I have within my bracket, so a little bit biased in this regard. But both of these teams, really, quite frankly, in my opinion, are the same exact ball club. Okay, Creighton covering 4 out of their last 5. They're kind of a sneaky dog here, 2.5 point favorites, but I think Tennessee follows up their previous performance with some gusto, okay? We look at the Volunteers. That game against Texas was a lot different than what the scoreboard showed at the end, okay? That could have very easily been a 12 to 14 point win down the stretch. They let Texas creep back in, and they basically didn't score for the last 3 minutes until it got to the latter part of the free throw back and forth, where Tennessee, hung on to their lead. Creighton, on the other hand, taking down Oregon in double overtime. That's taxing. I know that was a week ago, but Creighton is, they're relentless in what they're doing. They're kind of like a baby UConn in a form or fashion. They play a certain style of basketball that gives a lot of clubs fits, But I think Tennessee, I'm going to stick with them. I know Rick Barnes is, having that has that historically horrible against the spread NCAA tournament record. But this is something where I think we break the chain. I like Tennessee in this spot. -2.5. This is the only favorite I'm taking tonight on the card. One where also I'm going to be looking in live opportunity if Tennessee was to get down in this contest or up. I might be coming back a little bit on Creighton. If you do view this game being within a 7-point margin, there could be a window created live in-game opportunity. But that's a little bit down the road. We're not going to worry about that. I like the Zags. I like the Volunteers -2.5. I think you can even find some twos out there, but on Odds Jam, we were seeing 2.5 offered by Caesars, but the number is moving a little bit to seeing threes in most places, okay? Also, another line movement worth talking about within this game is the under has been seeing some money, okay? So within this game, we have seen the opening number of 148.5 come down to 144, and we've kind of settled in that ballpark where there's even a 143.5 out there in some outlets. So kind of missed that boat. I do see a slow it down kind of game within Tennessee. You could look at really what they did against Texas, 62-58. I think this total was a little too high off the get-go. They needed double overtime to get into the 150s against Oregon. So, yeah, I think that was one where we needed to get under that 145 a little bit early on in the day. But that's where we're going to have our final plays, our official plays within this Friday night slate. Excited to watch some basketball. I can't tell you guys enough. Wish we would have hit that parlay last night I had, and I could have made that 3 out of 4 look a little bit more sweeter. I put them all together, which, a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle there doesn't hurt anybody. It's okay to parlay in moderation, just like anything in life, okay? But that's what I got. I'm Mark with the Bettor Mark. I appreciate you guys rocking with me here on the channel. If you have not yet done so, though, make sure you guys all subscribe down below. Smash that like button as well, and I put up the picks on your screen. Just for a quick recap, that's what I'm locking in as my 3 best bets in tonight's college basketball Sweet 16 second day matchups. Thanks, guys.